Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins at a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC, DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent, License Lender, Broker Number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License Number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender, License Number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Welcome to Sports Talk with R&J. Steve Risser along here with Justin D'Onofrio. And we said it 2 weeks ago, this Yankee season might be over by the middle of August, and it is. It is over. It is over, and it ended on Sunday. Sunday's game was an absolute disgrace. That was a microcosm of the season. Sunday's game was a microcosm of the season. They were winning. They were up 7-1. Then they get to the ninth inning. They're up 7-3. And the bullpen's been great all year. It's been really good all year. But the biggest issue with this bullpen is they don't have a consistent ninth inning guy, and that happened on Sunday. And when I knew they were going to lose that game on Sunday is when Clay Holmes threw that ball away. When Clay Holmes threw that ball away, I knew they were going to lose that game because the rise was coming up. He hit the double. Then Berger gets the game-winning hit. And that's it. To me, that was the day where they were eliminated. Then because you knew what was coming up next. They got 3 games with Atlanta, and they've gotten outscored 16-3 in the last 2 games. You knew they weren't winning the 2 games with Atlanta. They shouldn't win tonight either. I mean, who's even – I don't even know. I don't think they have a –
Vasquez.
Vasquez is starting against that Braves lineup. And let me tell you, talk about great organizations. The Braves, that's the top organization in baseball, and the Yankees aren't. And like I said in the open, and I know we made that open a couple of years ago, but the Yankees are not even close to that. They aren't even close to what a team like the Braves is right now.
No, and I hope the organization has realized this. But, again, Aaron Boone last night said there's still a lot of season left.
Oh, God. No. Okay. Then the other day, on Monday he says, the attitude in the clubhouse is fine. I don't mind the attitude in the clubhouse. Guys don't care. Guys do not care about what's happening right now. No. Guys don't care. He thinks guys care because they're not showing emotion. Guys don't care. They don't care.
No. Judge kind of said, we're not showing up right now. So, at least Judge has acknowledged that they're not playing well. But, yeah, you're right. This organization now. I was kind of going through it last night. I think the Yankees right now, I'd put them maybe the 14th, 15th best organization right now in baseball. Like, I'd put them middle of the pack right now.
Yeah, they are. They're middle of the pack with a GM that is out of touch with reality and an ownership that has not made changes. Yeah, they're right. They're in the middle right now.
Yeah, they are. They've gotten absolutely blown out the last 2 5-0 last night, 11-3. You lose Sunday 8-7. And, yeah, it's just Boone – I know we'll get to the Boone Cashman stuff, but yeah, the season's over, and again, maybe I'm a bad fan for saying this, but I'd rather have them mathematically out of this thing as soon as possible, because so that at the end of the season, that Hal and Brian Cashman cannot make the excuse of, oh, if we were healthy, we were a championship team. Like, I don't want to hear that excuse yet again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're 100% right about that. Yeah. You want this thing to be a total disaster. Kind of like what the Giants were at the end of the year, end of 2021. So they're motivated to make changes. If this team makes like kind of a run, and that's what they've sometimes done. They did it in 26. They did it in 2016 or in 2013. They make kind of a run at the end where they're kind of in it, but they're not. Then they're going to say, oh, well, if we had Rizzo healthy, if we had Judge healthy all year, and if we had if Rodon was healthy or if Stanton was healthy, we would have made the playoffs. No. You're 100% right. You want this thing to be a total collapse at this point. You want this team to finish like 75 and 87 at this point.
Yeah, I do. And I think the last time that they were at 500 this late in the season was a 95. And I know that team made a run there and got to the playoffs. And obviously, we know the next year they made a World Series. But is there any there's no way. I don't believe that this team could run off 8 to 10. Like they haven't done it. They won one stretch in the month of May where I think they won 8 or 9. But that's not happening, right? Not the way they're playing. Again, I would love to have a number 8 hitter that's batting 290. Like that'd be awesome. Like that, and that Braves, the top 4 hitters haven't missed any time this year, and I think Albies, until he got hurt this weekend, hadn't missed a game yet either this year. Like they're playing every night, and Monday would have been the night to sit them after you just played a doubleheader on Saturday. You had a Sunday night game Sunday, and then the quick turnaround Monday. They still all in that lineup, and they still put up 11 runs. So that's a heck of an organization. And again, what they've done of just signing their guys right away when they come up and getting team value deals for the next 7-8 years, it's been remarkable. Yeah, this organization, the Braves organization is miles ahead right now where the Yankees are, and I hope looking at themselves at the mirror, going, there is a problem here.
No, there absolutely is a problem. And now we'll get to who is more to blame for what's going on this year. Is it Boone or is it Brian Cashman? And I think it's close between the two, but I'm going to go with Cashman because of the way this team is constructed. It's constructed with a lot of 30-year-olds that just that are locked up into long-term deals that are not good. They're not that good anymore. They lock up Stanton's locked up to a long-term deal. Rizzo's locked up to a long-term deal. LeMahieu's locked up. Still has money. Still under contract for next year or two, and then Donaldson as well. It's the way the team is constructed. That's why I think it's definitely more on Brian Cashman. And let's not forget they waited too long to sign Aaron Judge. So the way this team is constructed right now, I think it's a little bit more on Cashman than Boone, but also Boone needs to be fired too. Boone needs to be fired. It's been 6 years, and when he came here, the Yankees were 1 game away from winning the World Series. The closest the Yankees have gotten was in 2019, where they lost in 6 to the Astros. So, yeah, Boone, both these guys I think Cashman is more to blame, but Boone doesn't mean Boone doesn't have to go. Boone has to go as well.
Yeah, I think it's Cashman by a good margin. See, I'll get my Boone.
I would say by a good margin. I would say by a good margin. Boone hasn't done that good of a job either.
No, he hasn't. But he's been dealt the cards that he's gotten. But again, he does believe in the analytics. He does sit there in his post-game conferences, and when he gets asked a question about, like Sunday about Joaquin Soler, I believe he's like, no, that was never in the question. Like, he believes in the numbers, he believes in all that. So, like, I don't feel sorry for him there. But yeah, with Cashman, the way he construct again, we're just playing the Braves. Matt Olson was there for the taking. They re-signed Rizzo so that they didn't have to trade any of their prospects. But what they do is they hoard all their prospects in AAA. And they never use them. They never call them up. And again, that if they didn't want to trade them, at least call them up. But they don't do it. They just let them sit there, and they continue to wait for these 35-year-olds. We believe in them, and hey, if they're healthy, they'll be on the field. Again, did you know what he wanted Miami to give up for Gleyber Torres?
What do you want? What do you want?
He wanted the Marlins to give up their two of their top 5 pitching. There are 2 top pitching prospects, which were top 5 in the Marlins organization, and then 2 other top 15 position players. That's what he wanted for Gleyber.
That's not happening. Gleyber Torres is an average player at best. That's what they wanted. There's no way that was going to happen. There's no way that was going to happen. And you made a great point about the prospects. Why isn't Jason Dominguez playing on this team right now? Why isn't was it Austin Wells' name? Why isn't Austin Wells the catcher? Why isn't Austin Wells playing on this team? Why are these guys not playing on this team right now? Because Austin Wells is better than any catcher. What were the Yankees getting at the catcher position? Higashioka? He's terrible. What are the Yankees getting at center field? I like Harrison Bader, but I would like to see some Jason Dominguez. And obviously seeing the problems they have in the outfield, especially in left field, I'd like to see some of Jason Dominguez. So I don't get why these players aren't up. They're trying to pretend to the fans, oh, we still have a chance because we're 6.5 games out of a wild card spot with 40 games to play. You're in the 7th wild card position. 3 teams are ahead of you. The Red Sox, the Red Sox, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays. You're 6.5 games behind the Blue Jays, and you got 2 other teams ahead of you.
Yeah. That's why I also want them to kind of just fall apart, because I would love to see Austin, because I know the catching's not, they're worried about his catching ability at the major level. And see what you got with him in the month of September. You already know we got with Higashioka and Workbed. They're not good. They're backup catchers. And even Trevino, I know Trevino had a really good year last year. I know maybe the big reason why I failed this year because of the wrist injury. But again, like you look at the baseball card before this year, Trevino he's a backup catcher. He's not a starter. And then the other center field they have, Everson Pereira, has been tearing it up in AAA. That's another guy I would love to just see get him. Like, he's one guy I'd be very shocked they don't call up. And then I would even love to see Florial get a run in the month of September. Just, to give him a month to see if he can play at the major level. Let Peraza play. I know he played a little bit this year, but give him a couple weeks to come up here and just play. They hoard all these guys and they never trade them. And again, that's the big issue. And and they just, for whatever reason, Cashman just loves to hold on to these guys. And look what they did with Devi Garcia. They broke them.
They ruined them. They completely ruined Devi Garcia. Peraza is in and out of the lineup. Peraza, Dominguez, and Wells should be playing now. They should be playing now. They should not be. They should be playing. The Yankees should be looking towards the future now. This season is over. I don't want to hear the nonsense about, oh, we still have a chance. You don't have a chance. You're 60-60, 6.5 games out of the last wild card spot. You don't have a chance. Start getting ready for next season. So but the thing is I feel like Cashman might think his job is on the line, because that's why these guys haven't been up yet.
I don't know. Well, it was right after we got off the air last week. I forget who wrote it. It was for the NG.com. He was saying it was more on the kind of how lets Brian run this team. Brian's in charge,
which is ridiculous, which is absurd, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Hal never wanted to be the owner. It was supposed to go to the other brother, Hank, who passed away a couple years ago because of he had health issues. But Hal never. It sounds like Hal would have sold the team if he had the opportunity. But he's sitting and waiting for the grandkids to be able to be old enough to own the team. So the thing is, I don't think Cashman's going anywhere. And the only thing is, if him and Hal at the end of the year go, Brian takes another position within the organization, he's not getting fired.
He's not going to get fired. He's not going to get fired, but get him away from being the general manager. Just put him in some senior advisory role. Get him away from being the general manager and leave him at any conversation about personnel about this team, because he is a humongous reason why he is the biggest reason why this team is where it's at.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Again, I said it that they could have gone out and traded for Sean Murphy a couple years ago. There's been countless. They could have got Castillo last year. Again, I hope Volpe turns a nice player, but you could have traded for Castillo too. They've had opportunities to trade some of these guys and try to get younger, and they just haven't done it. And I know he doesn't want to deteriorate the farm system, but I'm like, look at the Braves. They don't really need a farm system right now. All those guys are pretty young. They're pretty controllable right now. They have time to replenish that farm system. So again, it's disappointing. Yeah, the way he built the team. Again, there's barely any lefties. They have no athleticism. I'm look at Austin Riley running first to third up. What it was, 8-3 Monday night.
Yeah,
he's going 100 miles per hour. It's Game 7, a one-run game. It's just the way the team was constructed was horrible. And Cashman should be able to, Cashman should get let go, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. But hopefully he would take a senior advisor role. Because this is bad, and this is a team that, with all the contracts they have right now, they're not how are you fixing this team? That's the issue.
You're gonna have to try to trade. You're gonna have to try to maybe see if someone's gonna take Stanton's contract. Someone's gonna take Rizzo's contract. You're gonna have to see if someone's gonna be willing to take those contracts. But it's gonna take a year or two to get all these contracts off the books. It really is. I mean, this is good. I don't think it's gonna be they're going to go from where they were in 2015, 2016, and then being immediately a contender in 2017. I don't think it's going to be that way. I think it's going to take a couple of years to get a lot of these contracts off the books, get a new GM here to get a lot of these contracts off the books, and they're going to have to rebuild. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole to accept rebuilds, but that's kind of the way it's going to be for those two guys.
Yeah, it'd be tough for the fans because that's not something you expect in New York. But
the problem is Cashman put them in this position. Cashman put them in this position.
He did, and hey, there's another team out there that has wasted the two prime years of two absolute beasts in the sport too.
With the Mets,
the Angels too.
The Angels and the Mets with Lindor and Alonso. The Angels with Shohei and Trout. Yeah, I mean, it's just this is the problem with it. But it's what happens when you don't have a general manager that does a good job. Brian Cashman, I think he's a Hall of Fame general manager, but he needs to go. He absolutely's got too much power in this organization. He needs to go. And the next question is who's got to go first, Boone or Cashman? It should be Cashman, but I do think it's going to be Boone first. But I think obviously Cashman should go as well.
Yeah, no, they both should go because again, I don't think Boone ever writes on a lineup card. Like I think that comes from upstairs. But some of the in game from Boone is pathetic, and I don't know what he's thinking. And but again, we're going to get another Aaron Boone next year. That's the problem. Billy Martin is not coming to manage his team. Joe Torre ain't coming to manage his team. That's what I worry. I don't know who's going to manage this team next year, but it's going to be an analytical guy that we're probably all going to want gone within 6 months. But I'm with you. Cashman, a couple of the trades too, like that Donaldson trade for bringing in. IKF's been okay. Workfed's been bad,
but that was a bad trade. That was a bad. It worked for it worked for the first half of last year. Like everything Cashman's done worked for one half of the season last year, where they had a historic first half. Since then, they've been really a 500 team.
Yeah, I think now they had like under 200 since like last July or whatever it is. They've been mediocre at best, and again, like they gave up a guy like Gary Sanchez, who I know the average is not great, and like that's the thing. Like, yes, Gary strikes out a lot, but everybody else in the lineup does. What was the big deal? Yep. He hit a grand slam last night. He's got 16 home runs now. His batting average up to 230. That'd be nice to have it as a starting catcher.
Yeah. I mean, he'd be better than what we have. The catchers we have are absolutely pathetic. So, he'd be our best. He's not good. He's not that good. He'd be the best catcher on our team right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, you take the offense right now, what he's giving you offensively, and the Padres love him. Yeah. The pitching staff love him.
Yeah.
So, I think he's gotten better defensively. But, like that's the thing. Like they quit on him, and it's like you're going to miss that production. I think they thought with that lineup that they'd be okay with the backup catcher pretty much.
But the problem is a lot of guys in the lineup now are getting past their prime. Stanton getting past his prime. Rizzo getting past his prime. LeMahieu getting past his prime. Donaldson getting past his prime. Really outside of Judge, a lot of these guys are past their primes now, and it's really shown up this season.
Yeah, it has. And I forgot to bring this up last week. I saw Donaldson in the game a couple weeks ago. He was running pretty well for just having a calf injury like 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't know. There might be a little bit more to that, but he was running well. Like, I did not see much, like, of like a limp or anything. Like, he was running well. And I know, like, he's on the IL for another 30 days. But, like, that tells me, too, like, I think they thought of, like, he's got nothing left, too. Like, just put him in the 60-day IL. Because I was kind of surprised to see him running.
Yeah. You're surprised to see a lot of things nowadays with the Yankees. The season has been an absolute mess. It's been an absolute mess. Both Boone and Cashman need to be gone. They got to have a new general manager. They got to have a new manager next year. And everybody's gonna say, "Oh, you're just getting mad about one bad year." Well, 2 years ago wasn't a great year either. I know last year was a really good year. They got to the ALCS. But 2 years ago, that wasn't a great year either. And I wanted Boone gone after that year. So 2 years ago wasn't great. This year they're completely underachieving. And realistically, I know they've had some good years in there in like 2018 and 2019, but they weren't championship years. They're not championship years where you could say, "Oh, we got to keep this guy because he won a World Series for us." This team hasn't played in the World Series in 15 years. There's got to be changes, and they got to start at the top in the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know they got the ALCS last year, but look at Cleveland this year. It took them 5 games to get by Cleveland, and they barely did that. Like, I I kind of like last year, like if they played somebody else, they probably would have gone home in the DS last year. So yeah, you go back 2021. Yeah, it's not great either. Ending the wild card game, losing to Boston. Like, hey, it hasn't been great. And the Astros have absolutely owned you. And I feel like I know the Astros are been on fire now, and now with Verlander gonna be right there. And yeah, it just kind of seems like they're just falling farther and farther behind the pack. And yeah, it's time to make some major changes. And it's Hal's gonna have to, and I hope Hal will lead a lot of money on those contracts. You mentioned Stanton, Rizzo, and LeMahieu, but I just it'd be interesting. I hope he does. They need to reset.
To me, in the offseason, there's 3 players that are safe on this team. Obviously, Judge, Cole, and Volpe. That's it. All the other 3, all the rest, they can do whatever they want with.
Even like a Michael King, you don't even want.
Yes, I don't care. He's a reliever. I know he's having a good year, but he's a reliever. You can get rid of him. Yes, and really 3 guys that I think should be safe on this team. I'm going to say it again: Cole, Judge, Volpe. That's it.
Yeah, right now, yeah. So you got none of those young guys. Yeah, that trying to go through it. Yeah, because like Rendon, I'm done with Rendon already.
No, that was and that's the other thing about Cashman. He's got to know this is a guy who's been hurt the last couple of years. He's had a history of getting injured, and of course he gets injured with us.
Yeah, he does. And now it's like in like spring training, like like it's a chronic. Like now it's like a chronic back issue. It's like that will only get worse. That will only get better as he gets into his later in his 30s. So
let me tell you,
it's a mess.
Yeah, this is it. This is probably the last time we're going to talk about the Yankees until a change gets made, because, or when they play the Red Sox, because because really these are meaningless games from here on out. They pretty much have 42 meaningless games, and the last time this has happened has probably been the early. This is the first time since the early 90s that the Yankees have had meaningless games. In the middle of August.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because even like the last year the stadium was open, they were in there to like mid-September.
They were in it. They were in it in 08. They were in it in 13 and 14 and 16. So they've been, even though those teams didn't make the playoffs, they were in it in September. This is the first time probably since 1992 that the Yankees won't be in it until the month of September.
Yeah. Again, it'll be interesting what some of the attendance are like. Because I think maybe it is a week. It'll be interesting, like next week. Like I think next Wednesday when they play the Nationals, like 1:00 on a Wednesday. Like what's that attend to be like?
That's going to be a lot of empty seats. A lot of empty seats in that stadium next Thursday. A lot of empty seats will be in that stadium next Thursday. But yeah, it's just been a very, very, very disappointing season for the Yankees. But we're going to move on to a team that is in the race, and that's the Red Sox. And yes, they haven't played the best of competition with the Tigers, the Royals, and the Nationals. But you got to play who's on your schedule. They've won 5 out of 6. They've definitely pitched better. Sale came back last week. We know the offense is really good. So they did 2 more with the Nationals. They got 3 with the Yankees. So they definitely have a chance to get closer to the Mariners and the Blue Jays. Big opportunity. I mean, playing the Nationals, 2 more with the Nationals. You got 3 with the Yankees. So really, really big opportunity for this team to get close to the Blue Jays and Mariners. And they really have to take advantage of this, because look at 16 of their next 19 games are against the Astros, Dodgers, Orioles, and Rays. Those are 4 of the best. They play pretty much four of the best teams. They play 4 of the best teams in baseball. 16 of their next 19 games. That's really we're really gonna know if the Red Sox. I mean, we're gonna see if the Red Sox are for real after that series against the Yankees.
Yeah, we absolutely are. It's going to be a big stretch coming up for him, and the bullpen's been excellent. I think Coors said last night, like, this is the best bullpen he's had since becoming the manager of the Red Sox, and even
2018, it's better than.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, he said even better than 18, which was surprising, because I'm like 18 they were pretty good, but and it's been surprising. Now they're getting healthy rotation wise. You mentioned Sales. Sale came back last week. Whitlock came back on Sunday it was. Tanner Houck is on track to pitch Monday. I think he's throwing his last rehab game tonight against the Yankees AAA team. So he's on pace to start down in Houston Monday night. So they're getting healthy at the rotation spot, which they definitely needed, because they were doing all those openers just tough to work. And Nick Favetta's been bad. I know he kind of had that one rough inning last night against Washington. They survived, but yeah, this team's playing better. Story's been back, and it looks like his timing's finally back, and he's playing well. So Casas again just continues to tear the cover off the ball, and he's improved so much.
Yeah, he really has, because he got off to a slow start, and Casas has been red hot. You got Trevor Story back in that lineup now. Obviously, Devers is is an MVP, top 10 player in the game. Verdugo, I think he hit a homer last night. Yoshida's played well. Turner's been a surprise. I didn't think Turner was going to have the year he had. Turner's had a really good year. So they've been a really good offensive team. I think Jansen was a really good pickup too. The question's going to be, though, can Sale and Houck be good? How can Sale be good? Because that's what they did. That's what they're depending on. They're really counting on those two guys because they did nothing at the trade deadline, nothing to improve this rotation. Those two guys got to be good. Or Chaim Bloom is going to be gone. These next 19 games are huge for this team because it's really going to determine if they're going to be a playoff team or not. And they're playing teams they're going to play if they get into the playoffs. So these next 19 after the Yankee series, these next 19 games for the Red Sox, especially 16 of them playing some great teams, are going to be huge for this team. It's going to show if this team is a World Series contender or not.
Yeah, it absolutely will. And they're huge. And for a team right now that's again like they took care of business. I know they lost Saturday to Detroit, but they bounced back on Sunday. They played better. This team with the schedule coming up with Houston, with the Dodgers, and then Houston again. For the fan base too. Patriot football is going to start kind of towards the end of this run here, and will anybody be interested in Boston in the Red Sox? Heading into mid-September. This
stretch is what's going to determine it. This stretch is what's going to determine it.
Yeah, it absolutely will, and it's going to be big for this whole team. And hopefully they get on a hot. They've been on a hot streak right now. They've been playing a lot better. Yeah, they've taken care of teams that you got to beat. And again, you expect it. They're 6-1 against the Yankees this year. You expect them to take care against the Yankees this weekend. Tonight you got Paxton on the mound.
I think you got Sale on Thursday afternoon against the Nationals.
Yeah, so you win tonight. You kind of feel pretty good about having a chance to get a sweep against Patrick Corbin. Not been very good. He's been a little bit better this year, but his ERA is still in a high 4. So it's a huge one. You're playing a very good Astros team. You're playing a Dodgers team that everybody knows is going to be right there. And probably playing the Braves and the champion in the NLCS. So for Boston, it's huge here. And the bullpen's got to continue to pitch well and close out games when they can. If Sale and Houck can come out, even just give them 5 innings. The way that bullpen's been, you feel pretty good that that bullpen can give you 12 outs or so and kind of close out the game.
Absolutely. And now talking about that series against the Yankees, we'll talk about it now. And we got Friday night. You got Bello pitching, and the Yankees haven't even named a starter yet. So I think that definitely should be a win for the Red Sox on Friday night. Saturday, I think, is the game the Yankees win with Cole going up against Crawford, because really the only games the Yankees win or have a good chance to win are the games that Garrett Cole pitches in. So I think they win that one. And then Sunday, I think Pavetta beats Clark Schmidt. So this is a series, though, for the Red Sox against the Yankees. The Yankee team has been playing poorly. That the Red Sox got to win 2 out of 3. If they want to keep pace with the Blue Jays and the Mariners, the Red Sox got to take advantage. They got to at least in their next 5 games, they got to at least go 3-2. They can't be going 2-3 against the Nationals and the Yankees. They got to be going 3-2 or 4-1 in those games if they want to keep pace with the Blue Jays and the Mariners.
Yeah, absolutely they do. And because I think Seattle's got Houston too this weekend, so you might be able to gain a couple games.
You might be able to leap them. That's the thing. You might be able to leap them this weekend if you take advantage against the Yankees.
Yeah, absolutely, and they definitely could. And Friday night, did you say the Yankees haven't announced anybody? That feels to me like it's probably gonna be a Johnny Brito at least bull situation. Then.
Yeah, kind of a bullpen game for the Yankees.
Yeah, so Brito's been decent. He hasn't been horrible, but I'm with you. I think the Red Sox got to win 2 out of 3. I think they will. Cole, I expect to pitch well, but again, the Red Sox have had some success against them. So you hope he goes out there and pitches well. They're going to need it. This is the way everything's going. I think the Red Sox take 2 out of 3, and the Red Sox 4-1, 3-2 would be perfect for them to go head down to Houston on Monday night, start a huge 4-game set with them, and in a series you hope to kind of maybe get the split in against Houston. I think you'd be fine with that. So you gain a couple games on Seattle hopefully this weekend, or and I think Toronto's playing Cincy, and the Reds haven't been playing well, so maybe that's not gain a couple on Toronto. But for Boston right now, playing a lot better, and it's a big weekend, and we'll see if the Yankees have any heart to try to maybe kind of spoil some of the Red Sox hopes, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm
don't
not
really
counting.
see it right
I'm
now.
not counting on it. I'm not counting on the Yankees doing well having a good weekend against the Red Sox. I am definitely not counting on that. But a couple of AFC East teams added some running backs. But before we talk about that, we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
Alrighty, on Monday, the rich got richer as this was rumored, but the Jets ended up signing Dalvin Cook, adding him to this offense with Aaron Rodgers, with Garrett Wilson, with Alan Lazard, and don't forget, Breece Hall's coming back as well. So, and you got one of the best defenses in football. So, looking at this Jets roster right now and looking at the addition of Dalvin Cook, the big question is we're going to go big right now. Should the Jets be the favorite to win the AFC? For me, I'm still going to say no because I'm not going against number 15. I am not going against number 15. Last year proved to you never go against number 15. He loses Tyreek Hill. He wins the Super Bowl. I know the Jets have added a ton of pieces, but also let's not forget this is a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 13 years. Now, I think this is a playoff team. I think this is a team that is a Super Bowl contender, but I don't think they should be the favorite to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And, because a lot of these teams in the AFC, like the Bills, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Chiefs, even the Chargers, like they've kind of been together for a couple of years. This whole new Jet team is, there's a lot of new pieces Jets team, and they're not all going to play in the preseason. Like, it's going to take them some time to gel. And again, week 1, they opened right up against the Bills. Like, I feel like they have to win that game to win a division. And if they don't, you're probably going to have to go on the road each of your playoff games. So I feel like that's just going to be a tall task. And yeah, with the start they have with the Bills at home at Dallas, again, they should beat the Patriots week 3. They have the Chiefs at home week 4.
That's a huge one. That's a huge game in week 4 against the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a big one at Denver and then Philly before their bye. Like, that's a tough 6 games there for a team that might take a couple weeks to kind of gel together. So I know their schedule gets easier down the line, but I think I would rather have it reversed, kind of get some of the easy games out of the way. I feel a little better about them. So like I think they can win the AFC, but I think it's going to be difficult though, just with their tough slate and with everybody kind of else contending, all kind of already played with each other, kind of already have that chemistry that the Jets, don't have just yet.
Exactly. Now, if we were talking about are they the favorite in the NFC? They probably be the second best or maybe even the best team in the NFC going into the season. It just shows you that the AFC is a much better conference than the NFC this year.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, it really is. And because like the Niners, could have some issues and like the second best team, the Eagles are going to be really good. They're going to be really talented. But like outside of Philly, we'll see what happens to the Niners and Nick Bosa. But that NFC is pretty much wide open for the second best team, whoever wants it. So like the Jets, they'd be right there with the Eagles for over in the NFC. Them and the Eagles, would definitely be the top two favorites there and on the other side.
Absolutely. Now the next question is should the Jets be the favorite to win the AFC East? And I'm still going to go with the Bills. And I'm going to go with I think they're better. They're obviously better than the Patriots and Dolphins in my opinion, but I'm still going to go with the Bills because I'm going to go with continuity. I know there's this Allen Diggs thing. I get it. I get the Allen Diggs thing that's going on right now, but I'm going to go with continuity, and I'm going to go with the team that's been together for the last 4 or 5 years and a team that's made the playoffs the last 4 years and gotten to an AFC championship game and a quarterback that's went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to go with I think it's very close, but I'm still going to go with the Bills as the favorite in the AFC East.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I got the Bills. Yeah, the continuity, that team got chemistry. Again, I think that's a team, again, that goes 14, they could go 14-3, 13-5, 13-4. Yeah. So something I could see them going right around there. I don't know if the Jets get to that mark. And with Josh Allen with that group, and I know, Diggs, there could be some issues there with Diggs, but I think, Gabe Davis, I think Josh Allen could, they got a couple other guys that I think that they'll use it. There's some issues there, and we'll see if their running back game, if their running game's kind of a little bit more improved now with Damian Harris and James Cook. But right now I still got the Bills there as a favorite to win the AFC East.
Yeah, I think they are. It's just you got to go with continuity. The Jets, they're very talented, but they've kind of thrown this team. They've kind of thrown this team together. Going out and trading for Aaron Rodgers, going out and signing Alan Lazard, and I know those guys that Rodgers knows, signing Lazard and Cobb and getting Markel Hardman, and then signing Dalvin Cook. So they've kind of similar to the Bucs 3 years ago. This could be similar to a Bucs Saints situation where the Bills might win the regular season games, but if they meet in the playoffs, the Jets might beat them. But it's one of those things where the Bills right now have a little bit more continuity to the Jets. The Jets were kind of thrown together. The only difference though between the Jets and the Bucs is the Bucs had Tom Brady, Jets have Aaron Rodgers. I'm still taking Tom Brady over Aaron. Tom Brady definitely, even though Aaron Rodgers is a top 10 quarterback of all time, the Bucs had the greatest to ever do it, arguably the greatest player in NFL history. So this Jets team, the only concern with me in terms of them winning a division is they kind of were thrown together. And I trust the coach of the Bills a little bit more in Sean McDermott than I do Robert Saleh. So this Jets team was kind of thrown together. That's why I think the Bills win the division.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, Jets kind of feel like this new age kind of college where the transfer portal, it's like you can just kind of reinvent your whole team. Just never.
And in the NFL, in a sport like football, I know it's very quarterback driven. I get it. It's very quarterback driven nowadays. It's not what it used to be, where it's more quarterback driven than it ever has been. But it's not the NBA. There's still a level of continuity. Anybody who's covered football or played football will know there's still a continuity level in football that matters more than it does in the NBA. There's still a team aspect of the NFL that you have to win a championship. And I think the Bills have a little bit more of that than the Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. Yeah, because timing, rhythm, you got to get all that down. And like for a new quarterback like Rodgers, you kind of got to have some time to work through that. And you can only do so much in practice. You're going up against the same guys.
And with the lack of reps, you're getting the preseason now too.
Yeah, and that too. So I feel like it's going to take you a couple weeks. Again, that was a great example of the Bucs because it was that Monday night game against the Giants where that's where they hit their stride. And you could see, because that was right when they came off the bye too. You could see they started rolling, and that's why
that team started 7-5, and then they started to take off after that.
Yeah, I think that could be the same thing with the Jets. After that bye week, going into week 8, that's where I could see that team starting to roll and they started to get clicking. So I'm right there with you. I think it's going to take a couple weeks, and as I mentioned earlier, if their schedule was kind of flipped where they got the Washingtons out of the way, some in the Jaguars, maybe not the Jaguars because they'll be a playoff team, but they got some of those easier opponents early on in the year, and then kind of face the Bills twice later, the Chiefs, the Eagles. I'd maybe feel a little bit better about them, the Jets maybe winning that division. But right now I still got to take the Bills.
Now we'll stay in the AFC East. The Patriots, I mean, I don't know if it's official yet, but Zeke said on social media that he's going to sign with the Patriots on Monday. And the big question is can him and Ramondre Stevenson, that's a good combination in the running game, can they carry the Patriots to the playoffs? And I'm going to say no. And here's why. The Patriots will still struggle against really good quarterbacks and teams that can contain a running game. The teams the Patriots will play well against are teams that can't stop the run and teams with bad quarterbacks because young quarterbacks or bad quarterbacks because we know Bill Belichick feasts on those guys. And I know the argument from Patriot fans is going to be, look at our defense last year. Again, as I said earlier a couple weeks ago, you beat one quarterback last year that is a starter going into this year, and that's Jared Goff. So I think that, yes, it will make the Patriots running game really good, but I still don't think because of the lack of weapons on offense and the quarterback being a question mark, I still don't think the Patriots are a playoff team going into this season.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I still don't think they are there. And yeah, I believe it's official now. Zeke is he is practicing today with the Patriots, so I believe it is official now. But yeah, I'm right there with you. So like again, I feel like in 2023, your defense can only take you so far. Yeah, and they have a great defense, but like, yeah, I'm right there with you. I like Zeke and Stevenson. I think Zeke comes in for like a third down guy, another block. Again, he's probably the best running back blocker out there. Minus that final play against the Niners in that playoff game last year. But I do like Zeke coming in. Again, he's a decent catcher out of the backfield too, and Mac really hasn't had that outlet yet, where that does help you kind of, you don't have anything downfield. You can kind of dump it off to Elliott. You kind of use him in that game as well. I know that's what Brady loved to do for so long here. Like I don't hate the move, but yeah, like maybe he gets his one win like better. But yeah, like in this division, unless a Tua, and again this would stink, but like if Tua gets hurt, I could see it beating out the Dolphins again.
No, that's the one. That's actually the one team I could see you guys finishing ahead of. That yeah. I think it's the Dolphins. I don't see you finishing ahead of the Jets or the Bills at all because Josh Allen has owned you since 2020, and the Jets. You look at their roster, you look at the quarterback they have now. I know you've beaten them 14 straight times, but it's a totally different team. I don't think it'll be better than the Jets or the Bills, but the one team I think you have a chance to be better than is the Dolphins. That's a team you have a chance to be better than. And then if you look at the conference, another team. Maybe the Chargers, because you play them this year and you've had success against the Chargers. So if you could maybe beat up the Dolphins and beat up on the Dolphins and Chargers, maybe you have a chance to make the playoffs. But just looking at this receiving core, looking at the question mark at the quarterback position, and look at the fact the defense feasted on a lot of bad quarterbacks and struggled against good ones. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, because I feel like in the AFC you're gonna have to have at least 10 wins. And I just have a hard time seeing that. Unless they just get a bunch of luck, I have a hard time seeing that. And yeah, that's kind of my big issue right now is, maybe, like you play a slugfest against the Steelers on the road, maybe you can win. But again, that's still going to be a tough environment. We expect the Broncos to be better. The Colts is, I think that's in Germany, I believe. Like
that's a very winnable game, though.
It is.
That's a very winnable game, seeing the level rookie quarterback starting.
Yeah, like I feel good, but like you are going out to another country. Like I don't. Yeah. It's tough to kind of predict those games, and you got Washington at home. Like there's some winnable games. Like they got to take care of those teams, but I just I don't know. Like I hope the offense is better, but there's so very, very kind of concerned about how this all, very, very concerned to see if Bill O'Brien could really turn this thing around quickly enough here, especially in this division.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think the thing is the Patriots offense, I think will be better, but I don't think their record will be as good because I think their schedule is tougher. You look at the quarterbacks they face. They face, they can face Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes this year. If Tua stays healthy, they got 6 games against Tua. They got 6 games against Josh Allen. They got 6 games against Aaron Rodgers. You're going to have to face Dak. You're going to have to face Daniel Jones. You're going to face Justin Herbert. I know you've had success against Herbert, but you're going to have to face Herbert. So there's a lot of good quarterbacks they're going to be facing. They're going to have a tougher schedule this year. I think the offense will be better, I don't think it'll be great by any means because of the lack of skill guys in the question, and we don't know if Mac Jones is a franchise quarterback or not. But I think it'll be obviously better because you can't get any worse than last year with the clowns they had running it. I think it'll be better, but I don't think the defense will be as good because of the quarterbacks they're going to be facing.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you're going to have to slot Christian Gonzalez and, probably maybe your number one guy out there. I don't know what the heck's going on with Jack Jones right now in that situation. There hasn't been much. He's been practicing, but I would think he's probably getting suspended. You're probably going to have to put a rookie out there, which I thought played pretty well the other night. But again, it's a rookie. You're gonna be asking a lot from him. So we'll see. I know Keon White, Georgia Tech guy they got. I really like that pick. He played really well the other night. But there's a couple of rookie wide receivers that played well. But I expect the offense to be a bit better. But the defensive side, because again, they're not going to win shootouts. That's the issue. And it's can their defense just keep them games long enough? It's going to be a tough ask, and it's tough in 2023 to kind of ask your defense to kind of hold the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Justin Herberts of the world to within to keep them in the 20s. It's pretty unrealistic unless you just get some luck and some weather luck. It's just being horrible conditions.
Absolutely. So it was another move on Monday. It was a busy day in the NFL on Monday. The Cowboys and Zach Martin work out a deal, and they rework their contract. And the big question is going into this season, do you see the Cowboys on the same level as the Eagles and the 49ers? Because I don't. I still think the Cowboys are a wild card team, a team that might get to the divisional round, but just time and time again. I know the Cowboys are getting Zach Martin back, but I think there's a question mark with Tony Pollard. He's coming off a broken leg. So I think the Cowboys, and who knows about the Dak McCarthy relationship. So I think the Cowboys, there's a potential to be good because obviously the addition of Cooks and Gilmore. But again, those are two guys in their 30s. So I think the Cowboys are a wild card team. They might win a playoff game. I just, again, don't see the Cowboys getting to a conference championship game.
No, I don't either. I think they're a wild card team, especially in that in the AFC. I think they should be able to get in. Yeah, I worry about the leadership of that. Like Diggs, what was it, 3 weeks ago now? He was woofing Dak when we picked him off.
Stop it, dude. He's your franchise quarterback. Stop doing that. And listen, and again, stop acting like you're Sauce Gardner or Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. If you're one of those guys, okay, you're one of the top corners in the league. You're a very good corner. You're not a top corner in the league. Stop doing that. Yeah, and
that, and then also none of the offensive linemen, nobody went up to Diggs and dude, that's our quarter. None of them stood up for Dak. So I worry in that locker room too.
There's some chemistry issues. There definitely is.
Yeah, and that's a big concern. And I think we're both on the same page. We're not big Mike McCarthy guys either.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So I think in the NFC they'll make a playoff game. I think they'll make the playoffs. But I'm with you. Maybe they win a game. I wouldn't be shocked they lose in the first round. So I'm there with you. Wild card team at best.
Absolutely. Now we'll give our 5 takeaways from week 1 of the preseason. I will go first. My first takeaway is the Colts made the right move starting Anthony Richardson. I think, and I was concerned about Richardson being a starter at the beginning of the season, but from the way he looked on Saturday, I know he didn't look great. I know he threw the pick, but they moved the ball. 2 of those 3 drives, they moved the ball. Alex Pierce has got to catch that ball there on that third drive when they drove down the field and they missed the field goal. Alex Pierce has got to catch that ball. Anthony Richardson, I know he's going to have his struggles this year. He's going to turn the ball over. He's going to be inaccurate at times. He's going to have a struggle. But the thing is he looked like he belonged, and that is enough to start over Gardner Minshew. Now the question is, you've seen a lot of Anthony Richardson with his lack of college experience. Do you think he's going to be ready for pro football?
No, I actually disagree with you right now.
Really?
I would go Minshew right now. I mean, at least Minshew's a capable backup because, again, I feel like if Richardson goes out there and struggles early.
Listen, he looked like he belonged. He looked like he belonged on Saturday. He looked like he belonged. And don't get me wrong, he probably looked better than any of the rookie quarterbacks. Let's be honest. He did. He looked like he belonged. And let me tell you something. Yeah, his numbers weren't great, but he played in the best conference in college football. And I was not for starting Anthony Richardson before Saturday. But from what I saw on Saturday, that's enough to start over a below average to bad starting quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I'm saying just start Gardner Minshew for the first couple of weeks, and just because I feel like
but why would you voluntarily start a guy and lose games? Start the clock on Anthony Richardson right now. I think Frank Wright is absolutely not Frank Wright. I think Shane Steichen is absolutely making the right decision.
I feel like this is a Jim Irsay call.
Really? You think it's Jim? I think it's a Steichen call. I think Steichen's making the right decision. I think from what he saw on Saturday, I think he's not going to be great by any means. That team's probably not going to win more than 5 games. No. But they're starting the clock on their franchise quarterback. And I don't think even with him throwing interceptions and struggling, he's going to lose his confidence.
I don't know. I just feel like, again, some of these defenses, when you get some tape on this guy, he only played 12 games. Like, I feel like this could be like a Mitch Trubisky type thing where it's just like he's just not ready. You know, like I think there's some things that he probably has not seen defenses do before. You know, like he just because I feel, you know, again, go back to like Eli and Peyton. Like they stayed like that 4th year for the experience. They wanted to get as good as they could. Like I feel like that's a major thing.
But that's a different era of football. Unless you have a chance to win a Super Bowl that year, like with the Chiefs with Mahomes and Alex Smith, or like with the Packers with Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. Unless you have a chance to win a championship with that quarterback, you should be starting your rookie from day one. Like the Steelers probably should have been starting Kenny Pickett from day one last year because by week 4 they were starting him. So I love the move that the Colts are starting Anthony Richardson right away.
Yeah, I just feel like, again, if it gets off to a bad start, he just goes to the, because some of these guys, defensively, pass rushers are just, they're going out there to go kill him. Like, and again, if he misses a sign, doesn't see something, again, leaves the pocket too early, he's going to get himself killed, and I just feel like.
I get it, but they protect the quarterbacks more than they ever have. They protect the quarterbacks more than they ever have. So I'm not concerned at all with him starting. I know you're concerned. I know with his lack of experience, you're concerned. But what I saw against the first-team defense on Saturday, yes, he's not going to light, though. He's probably not going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. No. But he looked like he belonged, and to me, that is enough when you have Gardner Minshew as your back, as the other quarterback.
Yeah, even though Minshew's not bad though. I wouldn't have him as my starting quarterback.
The Jaguars won 1 game with him last year. He was a starting quarterback.
That team
he's below average at best. I know the team was bad, but he's below average at best.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to be like a franchise. You have to start him all 17 games, but at least start him the first half just to practice wise. I just feel like some of the timing stuff, that's key. And he didn't get that much at Florida. And again, I kind of worry about that Florida. They're starting Graham Mertz now. Everybody's so high and I like Billy Napier going in, but now I kind of worry about him. So maybe it's one of these things where maybe it's like Justin Herbert, maybe not to that extent, but okay, maybe Billy Napier wasn't the right coach for him and he just kind of figures it out here. Maybe that could happen. But I just feel like he's got a very high ceiling, but the floor is very low. And I feel like you start him too early, he's not going to reach that potential. And that's kind of what I'm kind of a little bit worried about.
Yeah, we'll see. You don't want him starting. I will. We'll see what happens when the season starts. Now he will be starting, so we'll see where it goes. But we'll see. We'll definitely remember that though. If he's struggling or he's playing well, we'll definitely remember what we talked about this week. But number 2 for me, the Panthers and the Texans. I know there were people who were saying, the Panthers could win the AFC South with Bryce Young. No way. The Panthers and Texans, from what I saw in week 1 from Stroud and Young, they're both franchises are going in the right direction, but they're both definitely not going to be playoff teams. The Panthers and Texans will definitely not be playoff teams this year. I think both teams will win 5 games. I know they're going in the right directions with new coaches and new quarterbacks, but they will not be playoff teams this season. Number 3, the Chiefs need Chris Jones back as soon as possible. I saw that defense on Sunday against the Saints, that first-team defense, and even the second-teamers. That first-team defense gave up 2 touchdowns. They have 2 touchdowns. They got 14 points in less than a quarter of football. This Chiefs defense, and listen, I'm not going to doubt Patrick Mahomes. He's great, and they're still going to be. Even if Chris Jones is holding out, they're still contenders because they have Patrick Mahomes. But they would not be a favorite. They're definitely going to struggle against teams like the Bengals and the Jaguars and the Jets and the Bills if they don't have him, and even the Chargers if they don't have him. So the Chiefs need Chris Jones back as soon as possible. Number 4. There is no way the Broncos are Super Bowl contenders with Sean Payton. I know Sean Payton's back and you pair him with Russell Wilson, but I saw them in preseason on Friday against the worst team in football and probably the worst defense in football. It took them 4 possessions to get a touchdown. Russell Wilson, I know you can talk all you want about Nathaniel Hackett. Russell Wilson, I hate to say it, he's not that good anymore. He's not the player he was in Seattle. He's just not. I think he'll have obviously a better year. I think the Broncos will be in the playoff race. I think Wilson will be better, but he's not the player he was in Seattle. And I think that's what's going to be the case this year. I think the Broncos will be a playoff contender. They're definitely not going to be a Super Bowl contender this season. And then number 5, the AFC North is the best division in football going into this season. Yes, the AFC North is the best division. Yes, I meant the AFC. The AFC North is the best division in football going into the season, and here's why. Obviously, I know Burrow's hurt, but you got the Bengals. The Ravens, they should be good if Lamar. I know it's a big if, but if Lamar stays healthy. And then from what I saw this week in the preseason, I thought Kenny Pickett looked really good. I think he's going to make a jump this year, and I think the Steelers are going to be a playoff team. And then the worst team in the division with the Browns. The worst team in the division has Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. That means you are the best division in football. If you want to compare it to the NFC East, the Commanders are not as good as the Browns. And the Patriots, I know the Patriots have beaten the Browns the last 2 years, but Deshaun Watson hasn't played neither of those 2 games. So to me, the AFC North is the best division in football. So my 5 takeaways are the Colts are making the right move starting Richardson. Texans and Panthers will definitely not be playoff teams, and so won't the Colts either. So any of those teams, rookie quarterbacks, won't be playoff teams. Chris Jones needs to be back as soon as possible. The AFC North is the best division in football, and the Broncos will not be Super Bowl contenders with Wilson and Sean Payton this year. Justin, what are your 5 takeaways?
Mine, so yeah, I kind of the 3 rookie first round quarterbacks. Yeah, like Richardson, was like the best, but like I still kind of felt a little bit underwhelmed by their performance, especially from Stroud and Young. Like I worry about Young. I just think the size. I think he's going to struggle.
So you would actually sit Bryce. Would you sit Bryce Young?
First of all,
I would never sit Bryce Young. I would not sit Bryce Young at all.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
wouldn't.
I would not sit Bryce Young at all.
Size.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I think the size is going to be an issue. Like I just don't know if he's going to be able to handle it. I think it's going to be a tough road for him, and so I think there's going to be some struggles there with him. Stroud, I think Stroud's going to be the best of all these kind of first round rookie picks.
Wow, and he didn't play that well on Thursday.
He didn't.
But again, Belichick.
Yes.
That's what you got to guess.
He did, and again, I think all these guys just need more timing. They need more practice. They need more rhythm. They're still learning. Like again, they still got 2 more weeks of preseason, but I think Stroud could be the best out of all of them. Again, not like just not take not I think they'll I think Stroud will be okay. Again, as I mentioned, I think Richardson has the highest ceiling.
Lowest 4.
The lowest 4, and that's why I'm just not. I think Young. I just think the size of him. I think he could struggle trying to throw over some of these lines. My second one, I was really impressed with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So another rookie quarterback. Again, I know he's not starting, but like if Watson goes down, he looked very. And again, I remember his first start against Cincinnati his freshman year. He had like 5 interceptions. I'm like, Chip Kelly's gonna be long. He better find another quarterback. But he developed so much over the last couple of years. He looked so poised. He's such an accurate passer, and he was yet again this week for the Browns. Again, not starting, but like someday if Watson goes down, maybe you got a backup there. My third one was the poor offensive line play, and
that was bad. It was really bad around the league. Even with the Jets, you heard Salah. Like if you watch Hard Knocks, you heard Salah on Hard Knocks drop a couple of F-bombs with how bad the offensive line play was in that joint practice against the Panthers.
I didn't watch it yet, but no, really, I didn't watch it yet. But wow, yeah, it's bad. Like, and I think some of these some of the schools just coming up, there's just not enough time, and some of these passers are now just so elite that I think there's a little bit of a struggle. There's just so many talented guys now that some of these guys just aren't right at the NFL level, and again. Like teams that have some scramblers you can get out of the pocket, I think kind of it favors them. But
absolutely, absolutely, football is becoming more and more about the skill guys and the quarterback. I know the offensive line is still important, but it's becoming less about the offensive line.
Yeah, it is. And again, if it kind of continues a poor play, it'll be interesting to see how kind of that develops. And then my fourth one is I had same one as you here with the Chiefs. Yeah, they need Chris Jones or another pass rusher because they got no pressure. The Saints kind of they did whatever they wanted to him in the trenches. Yeah, I'm not freaking out about Kansas City in that defense because you have Patrick Mahomes, you're gonna score some points, but in a playoff game going up against the Bills where you're in a shootout or the
Jaguars, Bengals who you've lost to outside of that one game. Burrows beat you 3 times. Jets, some of these teams that could keep up with you and have better defenses than you, that could be a very big concern. That could be a big concern if Chris Jones is out because he is their Patrick Mahomes on defense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's a stud, and they need him. So yeah, like that's something again won't be concerning. Probably won't be concerning till like the playoffs, but it is a little bit of concern there. And then yeah, my fifth and final one was same one as you with the Broncos. Yeah, Sean Payton's a good coach. He'll keep in the playoff race, but yeah, Russell Wilson is not the same guy anymore. I don't believe in that team to be a Super Bowl contender. Again, yeah, he'll play better, but I don't expect this team to be any type of contender in this division or in the conference. The conference, I don't think they're winning that division. So.
Maybe they sneak in to that like 7th seed. They sneak in, maybe get a playoff spot because that's a tough place to play. And obviously they have a good coach now, but no, they are not a Super Bowl contender. Like the difference between them and the Chargers, they could finish ahead of the Chargers because of coaching, but the Chargers, they got the talent and the quarterback to be a Super Bowl, to be a team that could compete, that could get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know the Broncos again, just none of those wide receivers get that healthy. So
no, that's the problem.
That helps too. So yeah, that hurts them as well. So yeah, those are my 5: the Broncos, the Chiefs, missing Chris Jones. Then also my third one, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the poor offensive line, and then the 3 first-round rookie quarterbacks.
Gotcha. So we'll be doing our takeaways of week 2 of the preseason next week. But we're going to wrap up the show talking about the AP Top 25 that came out on Monday. Big day on Monday. All the NFL news and the AP Top 25 coming out. And the big question is should Georgia be the number 1 team in the country? Now, in my opinion, I think they should be, just because they've won the last 2 national titles, and then they're close to that level with Alabama, where it doesn't matter who they lose, they're going to be a great team anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. They're at that point in time right now, and yeah, I was very surprised that Michigan got 2 first place votes. Like Reese Davis was one of them that took Michigan ahead of them. I'm like,
oh wow.
I guess he had a response. I didn't listen to it yet, but. I very interesting to see why, that he did pick Michigan over Georgia. But yeah, Georgia with everybody they got coming back, Georgia should be the number 1 team again. They with their schedule so to be fair, they were supposed to play Oklahoma this year, but because they're doing the SEC next year, the SEC told them to cancel that series. So they got 4 cupcakes, but they're punching their ticket already to Atlanta. They'll be in the SEC championship game. They're going to roll everybody over again. So yeah, Georgia should be the number 1 team in the country. They got an act like Bennett. I know played well with the Rams this weekend, but like they got they're going to have like a 5-star quarterback. I don't know if they announced it yet who's going to be the starter, but they're going to be better. They got a lot of talent coming back on that team.
Absolutely. Now you talk about Michigan and all the stuff going on with Harbaugh. Should they be the number 2 team in the country going into this season?
Yeah, I got them in. Yeah, I'm fine with them at 2, and it sounds like that suspension is going to get pushed back now.
Really?
Gotcha. Sounds like there's the hearing. It sounds like they're going to push the hearing back to now 2024 because he's appealing it. So, if any, this would be the off season where Harbaugh I think goes back to the NFL. If he really wants to, this would be the off season. I feel like coming up
because this is this is his last chance. Do you think to win it at Michigan?
I feel like if he wants to go back to the NFL. There's not going to be a better opportunity.
Exactly, because of all the rules in the NCAA and everything.
Yeah. So this could be, and again, he always kind of said he wanted to put Michigan in a better spot than when he got here.
They definitely are. They definitely are. 2 straight. Now they should have played for the national title last year. That was ridiculous. They should have been in that national championship game last year. But yeah, 2 straight wins over Ohio. He couldn't beat Ohio State before he came. He's beaten them 2 years in a row. He's got into the college football playoffs 2 years in a row. So yeah, he's definitely done a really not a great job, but a really, really good job at Michigan.
Yeah. He's done an outstanding job, and they should have been there. And again, everybody's so high on JJ McCarthy, but he lost in that game. He did not play well in that. He was not great. He made a couple of key mistakes, and I still have him there number 2. But they got one of the best running back rooms in the country. They got some talent defensively. Again, Ohio State. I think this is year 2. Penn State. I think this is a year where they could all go 8-1 against each other
with Singleton and with Aller and Singleton. Yeah, this is a big year for Penn State, and they got Michigan in their house, and they always play well. James Franklin, he doesn't play well at Ann Arbor, but he always plays well at home. Even 2 years ago when Penn State wasn't that good, they almost beat Michigan that year. Remember, they were this close to beating Michigan. Then you go back to 2019, they beat Michigan. They beat Michigan pretty good at home. 2017, they beat them pretty good at home. So they played Jim Harbaugh Very, very tough, and Happy Valley. So that's a very, very winnable game for Penn State.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And yeah, that's going to be a huge one. That'll be a fun one because late November, mid there. I think that's already the noon kickoff. I thought maybe that'd be the whiteout game, but they
already noon kickoff. They've already made it the noon kickoff. So that should be really, really exciting to see Michigan come to Happy Valley this year. But we'll go back to the SEC and Alabama. Alabama coming in at number 4 in the country. I know they lost Will Anderson. I know they lost Bryce Young. Is it too low for them to be number 4? And to be honest, I might honestly think they're they're in the right spot at number 4 because I think Ohio State might be better than them, and I think Michigan might be better. And obviously, Bama's won the last 2 national titles. I think number 4 is right for him. Again, the quarterback situation right now I think it's gonna be Tyler Buchanan, but I don't know. And Saban said a week or two ago was like the wide receivers dropping too many passes, like it's just not crisp right now. They should have lost Texas week 2 last year. They got to go to that. They got to come into Tuscaloosa this year. But, I think defensively they'd be good. But I think we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. There's not that big wide receiver again this year that I don't think is going to make a huge kind of statement on this team. And I think Alabama, again, they'll be good. They'll be right there. They could win the West. But I think 4 is a very reasonable spot for them right now. Yeah, absolutely. The big game is going to be that LSU game. That LSU game is going to be a humongous game. That game is probably going to be one of the biggest games of the season when Bama and LSU plays. Saban's going to want revenge because that costed him playing Georgia for that SEC title game. I think there's a great chance we're going to get Alabama, Georgia in Atlanta this year. I really want it again. I think there's a great chance we're going to get that game this year.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I think so. Again, I won't take away from anything from LSU last year, but they won a couple games where they really should have lost.
Brian Kelly's done an outstanding job. Brian Kelly proved that he could coach anyone. He can coach out. He can go anywhere and be great. And he proved in the SEC his first year. Brian Kelly proved why he's probably a top 5 coach in college football.
Yeah, he is right now. And again, they surprised some people last year. Cause I think 8-4 is somewhere around there. But they got to Georgia. He did a great job with Jaden Daniels, and everybody loved. He's one of I think he's like the 2nd or 3rd most bet Heisman kind of front runner this year going in. Like I don't know if he's a Heisman winner, but again, they won the West again. He plays really well. Yeah, maybe I think there's a chance he's sitting there in New York in December with the chance to win the Heisman. But Brian Kelly did a heck of a job with that team last year, and they're going to be talented again. We'll see. We Florida State that Sunday night again. That was a great game last year. We got two top 10 teams.
Florida State's going to be good too, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Two top 10 teams. Number 8 Florida State and number 5 LSU. So that should be a lot of fun. Especially that Sunday night right before Labor Day. So that should be a lot of fun. So 2 more questions. First, which team that is in the top 25 that shouldn't be in the top 25? Which team that's in there shouldn't be in there?
I don't think I'll be surprised about what I'm saying, but it's going to be A&M. They just get the benefit of the doubt always.
Oh, every year because of Jimbo Fisher, and he won that one national title with Jameis Winston. That's all he won that one title with. And of course, the A&M, they went like 7-5 last year. They go 5-7 last year. They didn't even make a bowl game, and they're a top 25 team this year. That makes no sense. Oh, just because they added Bobby Petrino, that's probably why.
Yeah. They 2 coordinators now. That's going to go well.
Man.
You know what his D coordinator is?
What'd you say?
You know what D coordinator is?
Who?
DJ Durkin. Remember him at Maryland?
Oh my God! That's gonna be
his 2 coordinators.
That's gonna be a drama. That staff's gonna have a lot of drama on it. Oh my God!
Oh yes, it is. That's gonna be that will be fun to watch.
Talk about 3 guys that are gonna have 3 different agendas.
Oh yeah. So that's why I know they got 20 starters back, but what showed me last year that's a top 25.
You're gonna see the coaches fighting at halftime. There's gonna be a couple of games where the coaches fight at halftime.
No, it wouldn't shock me. Again, Jimbo said maybe there's a chance he'd give up the play calling duties, but again, I don't.
No, he's not going to give up the play. He's a national championship head coach. He's not giving up play calling.
I don't think he is either. We'll see if he kind of monitorize that offense a little bit. I'll see it when I believe it, but it's probably a good idea to hire Petrino again. But the culture there with him and Durkin just not great. Not great.
One coach that gets fired from one school for not treating players properly, and then another coach. We all know the story about Bobby Petrino. That's going to be a mess at Texas A&M. That's going to be a mess there. So, what team that isn't in the top 25 should be a top 25 team?
I'm going with the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. They got all 11 guys coming back offensively this year. I think they're a dark horse to win that Big 12. Again, Texas should win that conference. They got the most talent. Their offensive defensive line's like the best it's been in 15 years. But you know me, I can't buy Tech. I can't. Yeah,
you don't trust. You don't trust Sarkisian at all. I bet.
No, he hasn't won 10 games yet as a head coach, and he's been at USC, Washington, and now Texas. Like those are three
pretty good schools. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you see, would say Washington's not that big. Oh, they played in the college football playoff one time. So
yeah, they did. You know, that was.
I think that's the last time the Pac-12 has been in the college football playoff.
Yeah. Oregon, right? Yeah.
I think it is.
Because Oregon hasn't been there in a while. Yeah. So that's crazy. So we'll see what he's got. We'll see what Sarkisian got. But I love Texas Tech. Again, they got Oregon coming in week 2 to Texas Tech in Lubbock Saturday night. That would be a big one for them. But I really like this Texas Tech team. I thought they played really well towards the end of last year. They got a lot of momentum. Joey McGuire did a heck of a job last year with that team. Again, they're building some real momentum, and it's a team. Week 1 at Wyoming could be tricky, but they survive out there in Laramie. They come home for Oregon. That's a perfect spot. Tyler Show, their starting quarterback, an Oregon transfer. I think Texas Tech. I don't know if they're going to win the Big 12, but that's a team I look out for. That I would not be shocked they're playing the Big 12 championship game this year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Nobody expected TCU to do anything last year.
No.
You saw what happened there. They got to the national title game. So we'll see what happens. But that's going to wrap it up this week on Sports Talk with R&J. For Justin and Afrio, I'm Steve Risser. We'll be back next week talking more NFL preseason and the Red Sox trying to get that last wild card spot. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is his availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Vince 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees are not. They're even close to the best organization in baseball.
They're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Stinky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.